Hello, Maria. It's been a
Hello.
while.
It's been a while, for sure.
Yeah. Should we do
We
like
had
a little bit of
some.
a update?
Yeah, we can try. We can try. How's your life? How's your life doing?
How's my life? So I've been really busy. You know this.
Mm,
We've talked about this, but
yeah.
Boomy's been sick, and I've started
Mm,
a side hustle as a pole fitness instructor. Uh, I'm fighting every day with my printer and my Photoshop. And I think like through couples therapy last night, we finally communicate in a proper way. So now I think we're steady, we're good. So
yeah.
I think things are getting easier. Things are getting better. Yeah.
So you and your printer are meant to be now after this.
I hope so. I hope so. I really cross my fingers that it's gonna be good from now on.
Yeah, because we talked about web shop launches in last
Yes.
episode, and I guess you didn't manage to do a launch because the printer wasn't really
Yes. Yeah, and
cooperating.
I was planning to start promoting it now. So actually I can do this here first of all. So I'm going to have a launch in May.
Yay! Nice.
Yes. Now that my printer is finally cooperating, I can say confidently that there's going to be a launch in May. I've been so scared to like actually plan it out because the printer has been so not helpful.
Yeah.
So it's been scary to just like say that I'm going to deliver something when I don't know if I can. So now there's going to be a launch.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm excited.
Yes, yes.
I think then I will try to get it out, the
Yeah,
podcast,
do
before
it.
May. Yeah,
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
we could try.
we can
And
try.
because I think our followers would be like not just to like buy things, but also just to, after all this talk about how to like have the web shop, and it will be nice for them to see if the
If it
like how it
actually
looks.
how
Yeah,
it will look. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm still trying to decide. I think I've landed on that the sale will last for a week, and then I'll just try to collect the data from like how many days it's actually active or like people are
Mm,
visiting the shop, because I know a lot of people just have the launch open for 48 hours,
yeah,
but that feels so short.
yeah. And I guess it depends on how much of good promoting you're doing and everything
Yeah,
before. So
yeah.
I
So I
think,
think the
yeah,
first launch is going to be for a week, just to like
cool.
test the waters.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Whee!
And then you won't have like any launches in the summer, since then it's like high
No.
season in the
Yeah,
shop.
it's too
Yeah,
busy.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
I'm trying to
summer's
mentally prepare.
here.
Yeah, I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for the summer and the
Yeah.
busyness of the summer. I love the beginning of summer. The later months of summer can be kind of hard, but this year I'm going
Mm.
to have 3 employees. So hopefully burnout won't be knocking on my door.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think that means that you've taken some steps to like avoid what happened last summer. And you seem to have been enjoying your pole dance instructor
I
life.
love it. I love it. Like the first week was a mess. I told you about this too, but the first week was a complete mess. Not like the actual class, but my mental state and where I
Mm.
was at the time was a complete mess because I was PMSing really bad. I had a major skin breakout, and the weekend before the class started, I started to feel like I had a fever, and a lot of other things just happened to pile on top of it, and it was just like, whew, it was so hard to
Mm.
get in that mindset to actually be a person that can teach people and like stand in
Yeah,
front of 20 people and teach. Oh, but the
it's
fact that I
hard.
actually managed to just do it anyways, it was like a level up in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was a good thing that it started there, because then it could
Yeah.
only be better after that, you know?
Yeah. True.
Yeah. And I mean, you have to, that's like the thing about teaching. It's never when it fits you.
Yeah.
It's always like life can get in the way and you just have to get up there still.
Yeah, you just have to do
So
it.
yeah, and it's actually kind of good, I think, to have that experience to see that even when you are not at your best, you can still do it and it can still be a good class. And yeah, that helps, makes it less stressful.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. How about you?
I've been touring for a few months in Stavanger and then now in Kragerø in Telemark.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been, I've been tired, like I have been all year from touring. So it's been intense. I'm starting to feel like it's this year has been way too intense on the touring front. It's
Oh,
been
yeah?
like 5 months of touring this school year. So from the summer till this summer.
Mhm.
But I think this time of year is actually, it's okay to be touring at this time of year. It's so boring here right now. It's so gray. It's so like you can't do anything. You still cannot really walk in the forest because there's still snow there. And at
Mm.
the same time it's still cold, so it's not so fun to be in the garden. So I don't know. It's just I don't really mind being away for this time of the year. It's not really like March, like February, March, and a while into April is
Mm.
kind of like this standstill where nothing really happens in nature. It's just like cold and gray. So
Oh.
that's actually way better in Bergen. That's the one
Yeah.
season that I really prefer to be on the West Coast. It's spring because it comes much earlier and yeah, there's not that much of this back and forth. But here it's always like, oh, suddenly it's snowing again, and then it's sunny, and then it's snowing again, and then it's sunny, and it's like, yeah, it takes a while before it
Yeah.
starts feeling like real spring.
Yeah, I've had, like, a real spring feeling for the last, like, 2 weeks. It's
Yeah,
been
that's
lovely
nice.
in Bergen, so everything like, I see flowers. I've seen a butterfly, like,
Me
there's
too. I saw one.
bumblebees yeah, you did?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
and I
Mm,
just get so happy when I see the trees start to get like, the leaves are coming in and the birds are
mm,
singing, and it's just,
yeah.
I love this season.
Yeah, and you are like you are kind of a month almost ahead because I we have flowers and things are starting to happen here too, but in Bergen it's usually like in April it is really fully like
Yeah,
it's a real spring.
yeah.
And it starts in March in a way, but here
Mm,
I feel like it kind of starts now. So
mm.
April is the spring month, but March is just like I don't even know what to call it. It's not even winter, it's not even spring, it's just like this
Yeah,
gray
something
season.
gray is gray
Yeah,
in between,
it's gray
yeah.
season. Yeah. So I don't really mind being away for that time, and it's been nice because we've been in Kragerø, and that's actually I didn't know, but it's actually a really, really cute
Yeah?
town. Yeah. So I didn't really know anything about this town,
No, me
but
neither.
it's by the coast and it's just this super old and really cute town with all these like super narrow streets with white small, you know, like in Bergen, some of those like really cozy streets with these small old houses.
Yeah.
It's like all of the town is like that.
Oh.
So it's really cool. It's like, and not, it's like Gamle Bergen, you know,
Mm.
but just all of the town. It's like quite big as well. So, and stretches out for a while. And you drive through, it's a bit strange because you can actually drive through most of these very narrow streets. And it always
What?
feels like it shouldn't be allowed to
It's
drive
like,
here
am
because
I
you,
supposed to do this?
yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
feels really wrong because you're just almost like hitting the houses on your way. It's like so narrow,
Yeah.
and you just keep driving, and you can drive for a long time actually through these really narrow streets, and it just never ends. It's really
Oh,
really cute.
wow.
So I really liked it. I was like very
Huh.
surprised that
Wait,
it was because I had no idea about this town at all. So
yeah. Where is Kragerø?
it's
Is it close to
very
Stavanger?
no, it's in Telemark actually. So it's
Ah.
1 hour and 45 minutes from here.
Mm.
and it's more towards the south, so it's actually closer to Agder and Kristiansand, and like,
Ah, yeah.
so across the sea from Kragerø is kind of Denmark in a
Mm.
way. So it's quite far south in Norway.
It's probably like springtime there too, right?
Yeah, it was more springtime there, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was chill. And it's also a place, you know, Theodor Kittelsen,
Mm.
the painter.
He's
He's
one of
from
my
there.
favorites.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's from there. He grew up there, so his
yeah.
house is actually there.
Oh,
And
cool.
also Munch, Edvard Munch lived there for a while. So that's
Mm.
also a cool thing about this place.
Cool.
But the only thing with it though is that it's definitely a summer town. So
Mm.
everything was closed. Like the art museums, the Kittelsen house was closed. Most of the restaurants were closed for half of the
Wow.
week. So it was like one restaurant that we could go to, and all the other ones were just open from Thursday.
That's
So
weird.
yeah, so it was like in a way kind of like a ghost town. And also the
Mm.
hotel that we were staying in, I think most of the time it was us and maybe like three other people staying there. And
So it's like a
yeah,
touristy spot then.
yeah, so people come there with their boats. It's like one of those
Ah,
boat towns in a way.
I
Mm.
see.
But I liked it. I really liked it. And we got the best room in the hotel, I think, because we were only
Yeah, you
the
were the
only
only
people there.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had two balconies, and we had like one
Ooh.
like bedroom and one kitchen and one living room.
Oh, wow.
The thing that usually happens when you are touring is that you get the worst room in the whole hotel.
Mm.
And I think my theory is that it's because you are working for the municipalities and they know that. And they know that people that work for the municipalities don't pay for the room themselves. And
Uh,
that means that they will not complain if they get a not so nice room, you know? I think most municipality workers don't really like complain about the room they get,
yeah.
because very often we get like this strange tucked away in a corner room that has like a view of a wall.
Oh, nice.
So I
Yeah.
was really surprised that we got like the nicest room.
Huh.
Yeah, it was funny because there was like a balcony. When we had two balconies, there was like one balcony that was like on one side of the hotel, and it's the only balcony in the whole
In
like
the
that side of the hotel, and it's
Whoa.
above the entrance door. So it's kind of funny because you stand on this balcony and you're like, welcome everyone.
You're like the queen
Welcome.
and king, just like,
Yeah.
hello, welcome.
Yes.
Cool.
So yeah, I found it kind of funny. It was nice.
Yeah. Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds lovely though.
yeah. But now I am home and Bendik has gone to Japan and he's going to be there for a month. So yeah, I'm all
Lucky
alone.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm so
exciting.
jealous.
He's in this artist residency in a factory called Awagami Paper Factory. It's a
Mm,
very like well-known paper factory that have like traditions from like hundreds of years back of making paper.
mm,
And I really hope that he will, since he's like he gets a foot in the door now, that
yeah.
maybe he can go back, you know,
Ah,
and then
yeah.
I can join him.
Yes. Oh,
Hmm.
that would be so cool.
Yeah, we
And he
will
can
see
teach
though.
you the techniques as well when he come back, and then you can try to like
Yeah,
implement that into your touring, right?
yeah. The only thing is that I like for what I've seen now, it seems like it's quite hard, and you also need a lot of equipment to do the things that they do
I
there.
see.
Because
Yeah.
they make paper from kuso, which is the mulberry tree,
Mm,
and it's like one of the strongest papers you have in the world. Kuso
wow.
paper. It's like it's so you can make it super super thin, but it's still almost impossible to rip it. Like it's
Wow.
yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, so they make that, and I've he's been doing that for I think most of last week, and I think he managed to make like 7 good papers.
Oh, wow. Okay, okay, I see.
I
It's
don't know.
tricky.
That's what he said the last time I talked to him, but maybe he made more. But it's like yeah, it's kind of a tricky process. So I'm not sure if we
Yeah.
can do it at home. But it's still really cool to learn. I think maybe that's a good segue to our topic, which is something that you suggested.
Yes. So today's topic is inspiration and style. I think it's fun to ask you about this because we've talked about this, that you don't really think it's that interesting to talk about what inspires you.
Yes. Yes. I feel like I sound like the most like boring person ever. But yeah, that's very true. And I can
Yeah.
stand by that. I think I get that it's an interesting topic, but it's
Mm.
just for a lot of people. But I think sometimes just inspiration and talk about inspiration and everything becomes this kind of like long conversation about ideas and plans, and I don't know, sometimes I just want to see people do it instead of just talking about it in a way.
I
But
see.
and yeah, and also I just don't have all of these like people, these idols, these
Mm.
things in my life that are like this person and their art inspires me so much. I'm not really like that. I just
Ah,
never been.
yeah.
My parents are very much like that as well in a way. My mother is, I feel like she always fascinates me because she's kind of like this sponge in a way
Mm.
for all sorts of like art. So music, dance, she's always been into all of these things, and books and reading and visual art. And she's, when she listens to music, she's like in another world
Mm.
almost. And it's always, since I was a kid, I've always looked at her when she's listening to music, because she's not like doing it while she does something else. She will like sit down with her cup of coffee in the morning, and she will put on music, and then she will just sit there and listen to the
Oh,
music,
wow.
which
Yeah.
most people don't really do, I would say, today.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, they used to
Mm.
in her generation, but and she's just so, she I don't know, it's just she's in this other state of mind almost, and it is
Mm.
like so important to her. And she's like that with everything that is art. If it's something that she likes, she can just like absorb it in a way, and it seems like it inspires her so much and lifts her and just like makes life worth living in a way.
Yeah.
But I've always felt like I can't be like that. I just always felt like I should be like that, but I'm not
Oh.
really. I just want to make things so much more than I want to like take things in. I've
Yeah,
always
yeah.
preferred making things to actually like taking things in a way.
Yeah. Oh, we've talked about this before.
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's maybe connected to why I find like what inspires you like a bit of a tricky topic
Mm.
in a way.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm more of a sponge in a way. So I don't
Yeah.
I don't I don't do it often enough that I do like your mum, where I sit down and listen to music just to listen to music. But
Mm,
like I do when I sit on the bus and I look out the window, I'm never on my phone because I want to
mm,
look out the window and like absorb whatever I'm seeing. And if I listen to music at the same time, I can like, it can feel like I'm getting like full body chills just by being in a moment where I look at something beautiful and I listen to something beautiful, and it feels like
mm. But
almost
I
like
can
an
do that.
euphoric feeling. Yeah.
I can definitely do that too. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like a stone.
No, 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 of course
so,
not. No, no,
so
no, no.
just to be clear, like of course I do that, and that experience I absolutely recognize. Like listening to music, looking out the window, like I can also
Yeah.
listen to music and be like super absorbed in that. It's
Mm.
just not, yeah, as intense as I feel like
No,
it
yeah,
always
because
is
it
with
seems
my
like she
mother.
uses it like meditation almost.
Yeah, it's just so, I don't even know. I have never seen anyone else in my life like be
Yeah.
like that.
I honestly want to live my life a little bit more like that too, where I just like I'm more of a sponge, where I'm just able to just absorb things that is happening around me or like I'm sensing. Um, but my inspiration comes mostly from just experiencing life, I feel like. And it started like because I know inspiration, I feel like inspiration is something, it's a muscle. So you need to work on it to keep that inspiration alive in you. It's not
Yeah,
something that
absolutely.
necessarily happens to you. It comes from within. So
Yeah,
it
I
needs to
agree.
be nurtured and like grown in a way. So like in periods of time when I'm not like as like mentally stable, healthy, living life the way I want to, inspiration is really hard. So
Mm.
when I'm aware of it and I can live life and just look, because I feel like a lot of my illustrations are inspired by my daily life or something I see, and then I want to create something from that. So like when I did fjord cruising with Leo last fall,
Mm.
I immediately got home and I just had to sketch down an illustration based on that experience because it felt like such a stimulating experience in a way, and it triggered like my
Mm.
inspiration. I got like visual images in my head, and it was just like, I need
But
to
what
do
about
something
it?
with this.
But what about it? Because that's also what I think is interesting. Like, what specifically do you think is inspiring about it? If you were to like,
To
what
like
is the feeling that
almost
makes you inspired from that experience?
in that moment when I painted or I sketched out the idea that was a whale swimming through the fjords. I
Mm.
think it was a moment where we were on the boat and I was looking up on like these high walls of mountains around us, and I felt so small. I felt so
Mm.
tiny, and it just felt so magnificent that these mountains were so high, and I was
Yeah.
so small and insignificant in a way. And just like playing around with that, even the mountains are big for whales, sort of came to me like, oh, this is big even for
Nice.
a whale.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
So
cool.
that's like the feeling of just like being there in
Mm.
this setting, just like triggered an idea. So
Nice.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the feeling of feeling insignificant and small in a way
Mm.
was also inspiring in that moment.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
It's just like uh,
Mm.
just feelings. I feel like my feelings are what triggers my ideas most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what I ended up thinking as well when I was thinking about what is it that inspires me. I feel like it was my life more than like some artist or some
Mm.
specific type of music or specific thing. Yeah, sometimes I'm more inspired by the experiences of
Mm.
life than I
Yeah.
am by other artists and other artwork in a way. I wrote down different type of life experiences that inspire me. So one of them maybe relates to what you were saying because one of them is a sense of adventure
Mm.
that will always inspire me. The feeling of
Same.
being on an adventure, that's one of the most inspiring things ever. And
Yeah.
sometimes I even like bring my camera and I decide I should not film this, and then I just cannot help myself because I get so inspired because this is so cool, this is such an adventure, and then I just have to film things because I can't not do that.
Mm.
And then I actually wrote down that one thing that really inspires me is other people that are also inspired or have this lust for life.
Yeah.
People
Same.
like that can definitely inspire me. There's this one quote by there is a writer that's his name is Jack Kerouac. I think his quote is something like the best people for me are the mad ones,
Mm.
and he's kind of describing people that are like so curious about life, that are just mad about life in a way, and that just burn all the time for life, and are a bit like crazy.
Yeah.
And I always love that. It's from On the Road, the book, and yeah, it's I so agree with that. Like,
Oh,
it's
I love
it's
that.
so inspiring with people that are kind of crazy and mad
Yeah,
about life. You
different,
know?
and they live just unapologetically
Yeah.
themselves. Like they don't
Hmm.
hide or change. They're just like wholeheartedly themselves. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, feeling of adventure and crazy people
Perfect.
can
I'm
inspire
on
me.
board. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same. Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah. Because I feel like for me, like inspiration comes from within, but I feel like style, that's something that is more something you take from other sources. Style can
Interesting.
come from within as well. Of course, like a little part of it has to come from within. If not, then it's like all someone else's. But I feel like style, that's when other people's influence come in.
That's a very good way to put it.
Mm,
That might be true actually. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So do
because
you,
you can have the inspiration from something you experience within yourself, or just some emotion, and
mm,
then like how you put that into the world in a way
mm,
uh, can be more influenced by others, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good twist.
So do you have
I
any
like that.
style influences?
Yeah, definitely with my videos. Of course, I feel like it's obvious that I'm very influenced by Jonna Jinton.
Mm,
And it would be very strange not to say that, you know?
yeah.
But I've also been influenced by other YouTubers like Isabel Page and Hannah Lee Duggan. For
Mm,
like, she makes this sometimes these renovation videos. She lives in a cabin in the woods, and yeah, she always does it in a very like casual way, and it's so funny.
yeah.
I really love how she does it. Yeah, and also like some other YouTubers that don't really, I watch some travel YouTubers as well, like Kara and Nate, and sometimes I just pick up some things from their
Mm,
videos, since I also make some travel videos. I feel like I'm finding my own way of making videos more and more, but it's
mm,
definitely been influenced by a lot of people in my niche,
mm,
because there is definitely a niche of like living in the countryside that is
yeah.
very strong on YouTube. And I definitely think that Jonna Jinton started that niche. So I think nobody in this niche can say that they were not really influenced by her, because that would
Mm.
be a lie. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, no. When you learn how to find your style when you draw, they say that you should steal your favorite parts of your favorite artists and then combine them into something new. So I feel like
mm,
it's the same with like creating video content, is that you sort of like you steal the favorite bits and then you
hmm
make something new, something completely unique.
yeah. And I guess that's how you learn as well, because when you have not gone to film school and
Yeah.
you're just sitting down and you're going to edit something, actually it's like a strange thing how it actually works, because how do you actually know how to
Mm,
edit things?
yeah.
How do you know how to clip things, how to put things in order,
Yeah.
if you have never seen anything that you like? So of course you will be influenced when you sit there and you try to do that for the first time. You don't know what you're doing at all. So
Mm,
yeah, I think it's just normal that we have these influences.
yeah.
But I also have friends that work with YouTube that actually said that they unfollowed all their favorite creators because they decided that they needed to try and not compare themselves to others and not be so influenced by that. And I think that probably is a good thing as well after a while, to just
Yeah.
try to move away from that
Yeah,
a little bit.
I was gonna ask about that. If you find it hard to stay true to your style, like if you have a
Mm.
period of time where you watch a lot of like videos that you get influenced by, do you feel like it sort of can take over?
Definitely, I can get very much in my head about it if I'm a bit tired from editing and I don't like what I'm editing or something like that. Then I sometimes get like stuck watching other people's videos just to find some
Mm,
sort of help there. But it's not really helping because it isn't my video. I need to do it in my own way. So yeah, maybe
yeah.
that's when it goes back to inspiration, actually, to get back to what's like, what was the reason you started making this thing? What was the idea? What was the feeling that inspired you to make the thing? I feel like I
Mm,
need to go back to that.
yeah.
That's actually what I do. It's interesting that we're talking about these two things, but I feel like that's what I do. I go back to what was the initial inspiration for this, and then I try to like guide myself through the editing process from that, instead of being too stuck on the thinking how everyone else does it.
Mm,
Yeah, and there's a lot of videos that I look at now where I can so see that I didn't do that, where I can see that I lost my way along the way when I was editing. And
Yeah.
it's so bad because of that. Like that's very interesting to me. Like I see here I tried too much to do this thing that everyone else is doing.
Mm.
And that's why the video sucks. Like it's it's so obvious. Like
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, it's
it's hard
awful.
though.
Yeah.
What do you have some people that you are influenced by style wise?
A lot. So when I first started, like I remember when I was a kid and we went to museums and I loved Jesse Dahl, his
Me
paintings.
too. I love him too. Yeah.
Yeah, so he has like nature like wild mountains and nature paintings and they're
Mm,
beautiful and stunning and he does so well with lighting. So the
mm,
way he uses light in his paintings is just it makes it so much more atmospheric in a way. And the same with the Kittelsen, Theodor Kittelsen. He was also like a major inspiration. Even though I remember my grandmother on my father's side used to have one of Kittelsen's trolls like in a
yeah.
frame
Yeah.
close to the toilets in her house, and it terrified me when I was a
It
kid.
is scary. Yeah.
It's so scary. So it's like the big
Mm.
face with like the trees on the nose of the big troll, and I was just like, I wouldn't dare to go pee. I would like, you need to take me to the bathroom because I can't pass this like painting of a troll by myself. I was terrified. But then when I got
Mm.
older, I was like, this is super cool. And I
Yeah.
used to be so obsessed with creatures, like with mythical creatures and from all over the world, but especially like Norwegian folklore with Nøkken and Huldra and trolls. So
Mm.
I remember one Halloween I would dress up as Nøkken. So I just like put a lot of like seaweed in my hair and just like a big green like blanket that was all fuzzy. And was just like walk around like Nøkken.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, Nøkken is like a forest nymph or like lake nymph, swamp
Hmm.
nymph
Yeah.
that kills people.
Yeah, and he turns into this beautiful white horse
Mm,
when he is on land in a way,
yeah.
but then he kind of lures people into the lake and he becomes this monster.
So that was me when I was 7.
But that's so funny because I just feel like that's exactly the same as me. I also always loved all of these creatures.
Yeah.
And I always loved Kittelsen as well. I wrote like all these books, that I talked about
Yeah.
Huldra, It's I
Mm,
love these creatures, but it's just kind of funny that we have that in common because we never
yeah.
actually talked about that, I think.
No, we haven't really.
No, yeah, that's cool. Maybe
We're
that's why we're
both
friends.
yeah, maybe that's that's the base ingredient in our friendship.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but when I got older, like I remember when I started drawing as a teenager, it was heavily inspired by anime and manga. So a lot of
Mm,
like Japanese artists. And as an adult, I feel like Hayao Miyazaki, the creator of Studio Ghibli or the co-creator of Studio Ghibli, his
mm,
backgrounds are just it's
yeah,
gorgeous. Like the way Studio Ghibli makes nature, like the backgrounds of it of their movies, it's mwah.
it's
And
amazing.
yeah, it is. So that inspires me a lot. Like I try to not be too inspired by it, but it's hard not to because it is so stunning. It is
Yes.
like oh. And I remember also when I started playing around with gouache, that was because of an artist called Audra Eclair. She's really good with gouache and she has YouTube videos. So she used to make a lot of YouTube videos with tutorials and like the whole process of a painting. I loved watching that.
What is
Um,
gouache?
Gouache is like it's like a mix of acrylics and watercolor. So it's like a more opaque version of watercolor in a way. Yeah, it's really cool. So I've started
You
using.
started you started just drawing without watercolor, I remember, and it was such a big deal when you started using color. Do you
Yeah,
remember that? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, but it's so weird because when I think about it, I started drawing for real very late
Hmm.
because I started in my late 20s to like draw for real. Like I drew when I was a teenager, just like gonna copy this Pokemon and gonna draw this girl from Witch. You know, it was just like it wasn't from me. It was just like copying someone else's work, and it was just
I
like
have
for
also
fun.
copied Witch so many
Yeah,
times.
right.
Yes, I
Witch
have
was
so
so
many books.
cool.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Who were you? Who were you in Witch?
Oh, I don't. I think I loved Cornelia, but I'm not Cornelia as a person at all.
Uh, yeah.
What about
Cornelia
you?
is. It's hard. I loved Will.
Yeah,
I think Will was really cool, but I
she
loved
annoyed
Irma as
me.
well.
Yeah, but she's always the main character, and it
Yeah,
annoys
I
me sometimes.
know.
Yeah.
But I thought her boyfriend Matt was so cute.
Oh, it's true. It's true. He's
But
cute.
okay, Caleb for Cornelia.
Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just think she had long, beautiful hair, and that was like that was why I liked her.
You were easy.
I was so easy. Yeah, but you should actually be Lin if we're like talking who you are because she's this artist.
It's true. And she's air. And apparently
Yeah.
when I've done all quizzes and zodiac sign things, I'm always an air person.
Hmm. Interesting. That makes sense
Yeah.
to me. Yeah.
But I think you're earth, right? So it makes sense with Cornelia as
Um.
well.
I'm fire actually.
Are you?
Hmm.
Hmm.
But that
Yeah,
makes sense to
that
me.
makes sense too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of earth and fire, and then not so much water and air. If we're talking about the balance,
Yeah.
I
I
have a
thought
lot of
earth
fire.
because you seem pretty grounded.
Yeah, I guess I seem more grounded than I am usually.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you have a fiery personality, so I agree with that
I
too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. People have always told me that I'm so grounded, and I always felt like I'm not so sure about it in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually
Hmm.
a bit strange. I feel maybe more now than before.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I can relate to being grounded now, but I just don't really feel like that's what I feel inside.
I think it's also based because I think you're such a nature person. Like the
Yeah, makes
earth
sense.
sort of makes
Yeah.
sense with being a nature person
Yeah.
in a way. So that
Yeah,
might
it
have
does.
influenced it. But I
Yeah,
think,
I think
yeah,
so.
but fire makes
Mhm.
sense when he said it. It was like, yeah, true. True.
Yes. But this is such a side tangent.
Yeah,
Back
sorry, this was a
to
tangent.
back to yeah, but it's a nice tangent, but I wanted to hear more about your
Yeah.
influences. Yeah.
But I have a lot of influences now. Audrey Claire still inspires me a lot. And m- eh, yeah, there is like a lot of people out there that are very good with lighting, and that has been my new goal in a way. So I have like I noticed that every time I level up in a way with my art, it's because I focus on learning something specific and new. So
Mm.
last fall, my main goal was to be able to paint clouds because I've never been able to paint clouds like for real. So that was like a major like mini obsession that I just kept on like finding cloud references and was like, okay, I need to paint this cloud. And now it's like playing around with lighting, and it's so
Mm.
hard. It's so
Yeah.
hard. Yeah.
I think you're quite good with lighting, but I'm not an expert at all. But I like the lighting in your paintings.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go get a book. Just like 1 second. I couldn't remember his name, so I just needed to find it. So this is like
Yeah.
Color and Light by James
Mm.
Gurney.
Mm.
I recommend this. If you're
Nice.
trying to learn
He's gonna be really happy that you made all that effort.
Thank you. So if you're trying to learn like light and color, James Gurney is the master of it. He's so good. So good at it.
Nice. I could probably benefit from looking more into different types of videos or movies even, or how people do angles, how people do these things. I feel like I learned a lot in the beginning about lighting, about how to place your camera and like with the lighting and all of those things. But
Mm,
after that, it's kind of like I guess where I'm learning things is just intuitively in the editing process. And I feel like I'm getting better at it, but I've never actually started like really studying other people's stuff and like, I don't know, honing my craft in a
yeah,
way.
yeah,
And I feel like you're at that stage now where you're actually honing your skills and you're like, you know, getting into
yeah.
the smaller details like clouds and lighting. And yeah, I think that's really, really cool. And I really think
Thank you.
it's something that everyone should do in a way. And as I say, I think I should probably do that to get better. I'm
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
I'm just not.
but it takes a while. I feel like it took me a long time to get to this point where I'm actually interested in learning specific things about art. That
Yeah.
hasn't always been there. So I guess like it will
Yeah,
come to you as
maybe.
well.
Yeah, maybe it's just about the stage where you're at. That might be,
Yeah,
actually. Maybe I'm just not mastering the level I'm at yet. So I need to kind of get that under control first.
yeah, and you kind of have to get bored about the way you're
Yeah.
already doing it. You
Yeah.
have to
And
get kind of sick
I'm
of
not,
like, oh, it always looks the same. I need to do something new.
yeah. And I'm not there, I think.
Mm,
I have so many things now that I feel like I've learned without knowing it.
yeah.
When I look back at my videos, it's
Oh,
crazy.
cool.
It's so
Yeah.
interesting how you can learn so many things just from doing it without even knowing what you're doing.
Mm. No, I'm a big fan of learn by doing. It is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the best way
of
to
course.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah. We both are like, I feel in that way we create a lot and we are quite productive.
Mm.
I feel people like that we are usually learn by doing people because
Mm.
that's why we just create
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm not
obsessively.
really like a visual learner, I'm like, I c- like even though I have a book with like how to learn how to light things and stuff like that, I'm
Mm,
not. It's hard for me to read and learn. I've never been like read and then I know how to do it. I need to see it, and
yeah.
preferably I need to just have my hand do it, and then it sort of locks in. Then I remember it. If I do
Mm,
it at the same time, then it's like, okay, now I know. But I can't read anything and learn by reading. So that's why school
yeah.
was kind of hard for me, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. It's a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you read this book and then you try to like do some of the things that it like describes?
I haven't read a word. I
Okay.
just look at the pictures.
I see. That's nice. That's nice. It explains everything that you just said.
I
Yeah.
just look at the pictures and I try to focus in on like what is he
Ah,
doing? What
yeah.
how did he do that? And then like yeah, I try to like
Nice.
think about it like how would I do it if I wanted the same effects?
Mm,
Yeah.
that's so cool. I feel like you've definitely evolved. Like your style of drawing has changed a lot over the years as well.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, definitely think so. It's all you though. Like I don't feel
Mm.
like it's strange in a way, but it's definitely been changing a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're always evolving. I feel
I
like.
actually had a question about that too. Like, do you feel like you have a style?
Mm, no.
But it's the same for me. Like when people say like, "Ooh, you have such a cool style," I'm like, "What style?" Because for me, it's weird to say that I have a style, but I think from
Yeah.
outside, from outside your own head, you still have a
Mm,
style. I think you have a style, Maria,
okay.
and I
You
think
do?
you think that I have a style.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't feel it myself, and you don't either.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really interesting.
yeah.
You definitely have a style.
You
Yeah.
definitely have a style.
I'm
No,
glad. I'm
you.
glad.
No, you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it's fascinating though.
yeah, that's interesting. I think maybe it's because we're like the style is so much from within that it's
Mm,
hard to define it or I don't know, pinpoint it.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I struggle with that actually. I feel like I should have more of a style, but I'm glad you think I have a style. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad.
But I think that's very common that like the creator themselves don't really feel like they have a style because
Mm,
we just do. That's the thing. We
yeah.
don't think about a style when we create. It's just like something that is instinctual in a way.
Mm. I think it's really cool with some people on YouTube, though. Like especially recently, there has been a few people that have popped up that do definitely have a style, and I think their whole goal with the video is to have a style.
Yeah.
And it's like the visual style of it is also so specific. The colors they have in the videos and the lighting and just how they do their videos, and often they also it's almost more like a movie. It's like
Mm,
really well made in many
mm,
ways. And yeah, that's kind of fascinating to me. Those people, I'm pretty sure those people are people that are like super nerdy about learning all of these skills and like,
mm.
really studying how other people do it and like really honing in on those things. While most of us on YouTube are just like trying to just pick up the camera and be like, hello.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hello, look at this tree.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I think the style when you have a YouTube video where you vlog, it's you can definitely do those things, and I think it's really fascinating when people do that. But mostly, what is your trademark is you, like
Mm,
yourself and your personality, and the things you find important are the things that become, in a way, your style.
mm,
But visually, it's a bit harder, I think, to stand out. There's
mm.
so much video, there's so much visual stuff going on everywhere, all around us, all the time. So it's kind of hard to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you feel like you have like even though you don't feel like you have a style, do you think you could come up with three words that would describe your style?
Hmm. That's really hard. do
Yeah,
you
because
have do you have three words? Yeah.
I have three words for you.
Okay. Nice. Oh wow, you really planned this. Yeah.
No,
I
but
love
I
that.
was just thinking about it and it just came to me. So,
Okay.
like, I feel
Nice.
like slice of life is
Mm-hmm.
like a very much like a. I feel like that's a big part of your content. That is like
That's
very
three
much.
words though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's just one. It's just one. Just squish it together. Slice of life.
Okay. Yeah.
But it,
Yeah.
and it is that sort of course, like just saying nature feels
Yeah, but
it
I
is
get that.
it is
Yeah.
nature, but it's also like since you're in cities, you're in like different kinds of nature. It's just not the typical nature that is like the woods. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's exploring. So it's
Mm.
exploration of nature, and I also feel like it is adventure, like you said, because it
Yeah.
is often, even though it's just like a small adventure, like just cleaning up your house, it's still like a tiny adventure that
Yeah.
is like, oh, I'm gonna do this task. It's like a quest in a way.
It's a quest. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah,
I like that. That's really nice.
yeah,
Those are nice three words. I can live with that. That would
yeah.
be nice.
But I
I
struggle
think,
with coming up with words for me though.
yeah. Hmm. There's something cozy about it, definitely. And fairy tale like.
Yeah.
I'm just like brainstorming. I'm not saying these are the words, but there is definitely something fairy tale like about
Mm.
your
It is
drawings.
like
Every single one of them.
folklore.
Yeah, but I don't think everything you draw is folklore.
No, that's true. It's not based on folklore, everything, but
Because I have like the nine cats that were actually 10 cats.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Drawing
Yeah.
that's not folklore at all, you know.
That's
But it
true.
still
That's true.
feels like a fairy tale. It still feels like it could be one of those Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
There's always a story there.
Mm.
Yeah, there is some storytelling in there always,
Mm,
I feel like.
yeah.
And
No, I agree.
it's so hard to do this in English as well.
Yeah.
This is a word. This is a word I don't have in English. This is really tricky because I tried to explain this to my friend, but stemningsfullt.
Ooh.
It's actually quite hard to find a good word for that in
Yeah,
English.
because I usually use atmospheric, but I don't feel like atmospheric works in the
Yeah.
same way. It
No,
is
it's
more
not the
like
same.
a mood.
Yeah, and moody is not really the same
No,
either.
because moody is like negative, but this is like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Atmospheric and moody just combined, like
Yes. No, I agree. There should be an English word for stämningsfull.
mm, stemningsfull. But I feel like your drawings are stemningsfulle, you
Thank
know.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
was nice.
Yeah,
This was
this
a
is
cozy
good.
way to talk about this. Yeah. Now we're all no now our spirits are lifted, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you said quest as well about my videos because that's actually a bit conscious. I think definitely I try to make every video have some sort of like quest in it, even though
Yeah.
it's just something at home or
Yeah.
yeah,
But you are a
that's something I
writer,
learned.
so that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, and there's supposed to be a story. There's supposed to be some sort of emotion or feeling that I want
Mm,
to have throughout the video in a way,
mm,
and then I try to make it so that there feels like there is a challenge
mm.
and the challenge is solved in some sort of way, and then we have like an ending
Yeah.
in a way.
There is a hero's journey.
Yeah, but it's not always working out. But
No, no, no.
sometimes I just there's no journey here. I can't really do this. But yeah, I try to feel like make that feeling.
Mm,
It's definitely something I've learned over the years that you can't just like put a lot of clips together and like whatever. You need to think a bit more about
yeah.
the build of the story.
But I think that's what makes it so hard to click away from your videos as well, because it is that kind of you want to see how it ends. It's like,
Yeah, and that's the trick. Yeah,
yeah, you
maybe
want.
I have been honing my skills a
I
little
think
bit there.
so. I think
Yeah, yeah,
so.
because
Especially
that's
with your
definitely something I
storytelling.
learned from YouTube, like watching YouTube videos about making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Ah,
Mm,
cool.
yeah, but
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like with your art also, it's something. I think that there's some storytelling in there. I think that storytelling could be one of the words because I feel like it's important
Mm,
because there is not just the painting, there's a feeling like there is something behind the painting, something that is like something that you will have to figure out yourself or a mystery in a
mm.
way, like what's the story behind this, why is she here and why is she doing this thing, or like I don't know, there's always just this feeling like there's more,
Oh,
which gives
thank
this depth
you.
in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ah, that makes me happy.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah.
But
Ah,
not all illustrators have that, I feel like. Sometimes it's just a nice painting, and
yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
story there in a way.
But that's what I did like early on, like before I started thinking about the story aspect. I just painted cute animals. And that
Yeah,
was
and
fun
those are
too,
really nice.
but it was like, yeah, but it's more
Yeah.
aesthetic. So it's without like any
Mm.
backstory. It's just like, oh, this is a cute hedgehog. And
Yeah.
I still love them, but it is that
Yeah.
kind of thing that I see the change. Now almost
Hmm.
every piece that I make has some kind of backstory.
This is something I've thought about, but is it right for you to say that when you are feeling better mentally, you
Mm,
create these pictures or these paintings more with the stories and like it's a
mm,
bit more elaborate?
yeah.
But when you are not feeling your best, I sometimes see that when you're not feeling your best, there comes this painting that is more of a beautiful animal or a Pokemon or something
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely. Yeah.
While when you are feeling good, I can see that these paintings also elaborate more into these stories.
You're completely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm the opposite of the typical stereotypical artist that is like, oh, the tormented artist that needs to be heartbroken and depressed to create. For me, it's the opposite. Yeah. I need to be in a good place to be able to create something I'm happy with.
Yeah, because I thought about that too in the beginning of this podcast when you talked about that's different for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can do both,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, writing. I think I wrote some of the best things when I was really low, really
Mm,
struggling. Because there is a nerve, there's like a tension, and you can feel that when you read something that other people write as well. That like when there's something that really means something, it
mm,
really is like painful in a way.
yeah.
Then that's usually, it doesn't have to be a sad text or a story about something painful, but there's just has to be something that's, I don't know,
Mm,
there's an edge there that you need to hit in
yeah.
a way.
It can't
It's
be
kind of
just
hard to explain
comfortable.
this in English. I have the words for it in Norwegian, but it's just really really hard. Like in Norwegian we would say like noe må stå på spill.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
And it's really hard to explain in English, but it's just something, there needs to be something.
Like a sense of sacrifice or something that will be lost in a way, or just like
Yeah, that
a
could be
sense of
lost.
urgency.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Like
Yeah.
none of the things I say and none of the things you say are like the specific thing, but it's yeah. But yeah, I think when I make videos, that's not necessary in the same way, and I feel like I
Mm,
can usually make better videos when I'm happier.
mm.
So I just think writing is different for me. It's like it hits something deeper.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
because
means also I need to be deeper within myself. And when I'm happy, I'm definitely like deep within myself then as well. But I can sometimes be a bit more like aloof or like, you
yeah,
know, just
same.
floating. And when I'm sad, I'm at the core, you know, of my being.
Yeah.
And I write better things when I'm at the core of my being,
Ah, now I
if
know
that makes
what you
sense.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only when I've been like pretty low and depressed that's when I turn to poetry.
Yeah.
Like I try to write down what I'm feeling in words, and I don't
Hmm.
do that any other time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something about writing there.
Yeah,
That's just,
maybe.
it hits something deeper in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe the visual things we make, like your paintings and my videos, they are trying to connect to some sort of like, not necessarily that it has to be idyllic, but it's also not very dark, you know?
Mm-mm.
We don't go into the deepest, darkest pits of life
No.
when we the thing with the things that we make.
Mm.
And maybe that's also why it's hard to tap into that really, really like difficult place within yourself and at the
Mm.
same time paint. I don't know.
I think maybe both your videos and my art is more like a nice escape or a nice
Yeah.
break instead
Yeah.
of facing your demons. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like a little bit of a, oh,
Yeah, and I also try to make, if I have a bad, like if my I'm struggling, I try to make videos about that, but I try to um kind of find the good things in that,
mm,
and like how can I make a video about this that doesn't become like super depressing, but
yeah,
at the same time is like true to what I feel.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I usually try to like make something out of it that kind of lifts people up a little bit instead of just pulling people down.
Mm,
Yeah. So, but I've started to become better at that as well, actually. When I feel not so good, I'm like, okay, that could be an interesting story. Like,
yeah,
how can I make a story about, for example, right now I'm making a video. It's been so gray, so boring here lately. And I was like, how
yeah,
can I even, like, I have no inspiration. There's no inspiration in nature. Like, speaking of inspiration, this is like such an uninspiring time. It's like
yeah,
crazy uninspiring outside now. It's just like nothing to find here. And I was
mm,
like, but then I'll make a video about gray season
yeah,
and a video about that, about how gray it is. And I started filming, like, it's so gray right now when I'm looking out the window. It's like a perfect picture
oh,
of it. But
yeah,
I started filming just like the gray, boring days and just like super boring shots of like a boring tree, a boring forest, a boring sky, you know? And I
yeah,
find inspiration in that too. Like I turned
mm,
it around in a way. So that's actually been quite fun lately that I've started to feel like I'm in this. I maybe learned more about making videos. So I feel
mm,
more flexible with what I can make videos from in a way.
mm.
While before I would always look for those beautiful days and those beautiful sunny days and like all those things. But now I'm like, yeah, maybe make a video about cleaning the house or or
Yeah.
gray days. Yeah.
And I mean, like, people find the moody scenery in Norway very inspiring as well. So when it's foggy, when it's like gray and
Mm.
rainy,
Mm-hmm.
some people find that the most inspiring. So it is nice to take those kinds of gray days
Yeah.
too. I had a question, like, what season do you get the most inspired? So talking about especially
Ooh.
this. So
Yeah.
what times
I
of the
feel like
year?
it's safe. It's safe to say that we both find a lot of inspiration in nature.
Mm,
I think it goes without saying. Like none of us have mentioned that during this,
no.
but it's just very obvious. So
Yeah.
we do. I feel like both of us. But maybe summer. Maybe is the most inspiring time because I can be outside in the night.
Yeah.
And film. That's like the most magical time of the year when I'm all by myself all night, just walking around. It's so magical.
Mm,
So I find a lot of inspiration in that, but also fall can be really
yeah.
cool.
Mm,
And then it's gray in that way that you described when it's like foggy and
mm,
misty and all that. Now it's gray in like this white type of
yeah.
gray. Like it's not wet, it's not raining. It's just the sky is just gray and there's just nothing. But what is your favorite season or like the most inspiring season for you?
So I thought, like, when I first thought about it, I thought, oh, it must be summer, but I don't think it is because
Mm,
I'm so
you're
busy
very
during the
busy.
summer. Yeah. So it's hard to find the time to actually get inspired because my brain is all like, oh, I need to print more prints. I need to go to work. I need to schedule for my employees. I need to, there's a lot of like business stuff that's going on during the summer. So springtime, that's, I feel like I wake up during spring. It's like
Mm,
everything wakes up in me. Like it's both my inspiration and just my mood. Everything is
mm,
just like higher up in springtime. And I'm so happy when I see like
mm.
spring is coming. So I feel like spring, mainly spring, is like my big inspiration season.
I love
And then
spring
fall.
too.
Yeah,
Mm,
fall is also so cool. Like the colors and just like when
mm,
it's not starting to rain a lot, but like the early fall time when you can still be
mhm.
outside and just like explore and look at the trees changing color.
It's
Love that.
amazing.
Yeah.
I just want spring to come.
He's coming, he's coming. Just wait.
Ah, it's just like when you're talking about fall, I'm like, I
Yeah,
want
yeah, yeah.
colors.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a
Slow
slow
spring.
spring. Are you coming to Bergen this summer?
Yeah, probably. I haven't made any plans.
Are we gonna do like a, Bergen tour part two?
Yes, and I was
Yes.
going to ask you because I listened to one of our previous episodes and I remember that a lot of people were stopping by your shop. Has there been anyone after that, or is it like dead now?
Last summer it was so many people, but like in
Yeah,
fall and spring it's very quiet. So there hasn't been
yeah,
anyone like since last summer. But I
mm,
bet like when people start googling Bergen again, when the
yeah,
tourist season comes, it's going to be people this year too.
yeah. Because it's like 40,000 views or something like now.
Yeah, I know.
And I was just thinking, wondering if it's gonna like end at some point, or if it's just keeps
I think it's
going.
going to be a seasonal thing. So you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get
yeah,
another like woo
yeah. That would be
this
interesting to
spring.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's cool. I think I really would love to make a part two.
Yeah. Mm. Oh, but
Hmm.
that would be so much fun.
I think this was a
Yeah.
very interesting conversation about what's inspiring, and I feel like I should start talking more with people about what's inspiring them.
So it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Yay.
Yeah,
Mm.
nothing is ever boring when I'm talking with you about it, though. But
Oh, same Maria.
yeah, so nice to
Yeah.
talk with you.
Likewise. Oh, I
Yeah,
missed you.
I missed you too.
Yeah. Mm.
So we will try to record some more episodes, and yeah, we will see you again, everyone, in the next one.
Yes.
And please let us know if you have any topics that you want us to just ramble about.
Yes.
And
Yes,
we will
please.
gladly do so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But until next time, everyone, bye.
Bye.